Harry and Meghan's marriage is allegedly circling the drain, and it makes sense. The birthday girl just posted a solo picture on her big day, trying to save face with a shout out to her husband and her family, which, let's be honest, doesn't exist anymore because she has dumped them all. Add money problems, a $14 million mansion bleeding them dry, and flop after flop on Netflix. Yeah. This isn't exactly the happily ever after Meghan was pitching. Let's get started. Hello everyone, I'm Star Chairs, and in this channel, we analyze videos and articles through the lens of PR. Now, you usually see my face, but today I was trying to record earlier so I can get out information faster to you all. So here we are. And also a quick thank you for the sponsor of this video, which is Augur. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. And if you'd like to sponsor my next video, you can go ahead and go over to buymeacoffee.com/starchairs. All right, so let's get started because now people are whispering that the marriage is on the rocks. And honestly, it makes sense because let's be real, they're broke. Not like you and I broke, like not Target broke, not oops, I overdrafted on my Starbucks latte broke, but oops, we lost our $100 million Netflix deal broke. That's the kind of broke where the bills don't care about your royal title. They just want the cash. And here's the thing. The finances are one of the top reasons that couples split. Now, I do not advocate for divorce, especially with young children involved, but when people don't change, it only drags the marriage down. You can survive annoying in-laws. You can survive different parenting styles. Heck, some couples survive mismatched bedtimes. But many, and I say many, because many do not survive when it comes to the money drying up. You cannot argue your way out of a mortgage. You cannot PR spin the property taxes. Absolutely not. At the end of the day, it's numbers on paper, and those numbers do not lie. Think about it. Their mansion alone costs roughly $70,000 to $74,000 a month in payments. That's before taxes, staff, or the six-figure security detail they have to keep 24/7. It's like lighting a pile of money on fire just to keep the Montecito comfortable. That's it. And when your business ventures flop, the podcast, the Polo docuseries, the sad little wine lounge, the stress creeps into your marriage. Money stress doesn't care if you're a duchess or a delivery driver. It eats away at you, turns small arguments into big ones, and makes even the most fairy tale couples start questioning what they signed up for. And let's be real, Harry and Meghan aren't exactly a team right now. She's out here pushing Rosé like it's on the clearance rack, and he's suddenly meeting with Charles again, his father. Maybe to get back on the royal payroll. I mean, that doesn't seem quite bad now, does it? That doesn't sound like a united front whatsoever. That sounds like two people scrambling for separate lifeboats. Now, let's talk about her podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder, because Meghan dropped it faster than she drops Friends, and honestly, that was a huge mistake, if I do say so myself. Sure, it wasn't bringing in the Oprah level millions, but it could have at least generated some steady income. Pennies and nickels add up when you're staring down a $74,000 mortgage payment. But Meghan doesn't think small. She only chases the big, shiny deals. Her eyes were locked on that Netflix cash, the millions. And now that deal has flopped because Netflix isn't in the charity business. They only pay if you deliver exciting, profitable projects, and she hasn't whatsoever. And the podcast itself, it had I'm doing this out of my basement vibes. With Spotify, she was handed millions and a full production team. With Limonada Media, it looked like she was back to square one, maybe even have to roll up her sleeves and gasp, actually do the work herself. And that's the issue. Podcasts are time consuming, but when the money is tight, most people hustle through it. Meghan, though, doesn't seem to have the stamina, the discipline, or the willpower to juggle multiple projects at once. She rather abandoned the small wins while betting everything on the big jackpot, which never came. That podcast was the lowest hanging fruit on her tree, something she could have kept alive with minimal effort just to keep her name relevant and the income trickling in. But she gave up, and that's Meghan's pattern in business. And in life, she bails too quickly, whether it's friendships, staff, family members, or work commitments. Once it gets hard, she's out. And now we're seeing how the same quit before it gets uncomfortable pattern is bleeding into her marriage. When the money stress hits and the spotlight fades, will Harry become the next thing she walks away from? I think so. And yet, their so-called business empire keeps tanking. Meghan's cooking show barely scraped into Netflix top 10 before nosediving to number 383. Now, Meghan isn't the type to walk away empty-handed. She's not going to ditch Harry today, absolutely not, because she still needs him. He's still the golden ticket, the prince that she can cash in on. But the second he stops being useful, and trust me, this is my opinion. I think he'll be discarded like every other staffer, friend, and family member before him. It's a pattern, and she's consistent, if nothing else. And here's where it gets even juicier, because reports claim Meghan's team once floated the idea of the post-divorce book deal. Remember that? A guide to her fabulous new single life? Just think about that for a second. You don't even start pitching divorce content unless the thought has already crossed your mind. I bet Meghan has already divorced Harry in her head 100 times. That means Meghan was planting seeds for what's next chapter before this marriage even hit the 7-year itch. And let's be real, if there's one thing Meghan knows, it's how to make herself look like a heroine of her own reinvention saga. Because that's the whole brand. Meghan 2.0. Meghan rising from the ashes. Meghan as the misunderstood phoenix. Oh my goodness. The marriage? Yeah, that's another plot device in her storyline. The second it no longer serves her brand or her bank account, it becomes dead weight. Well, story shows us what she does with dead weight. The truth is, the Sussex fairy tale was built on shaky ground from day one. They traded castles for contracts. And now that the contracts are drying up, what is left? Stress, bills, resentment, and two people trying to scramble their way back into relevance. That's not a love story, people. That's financial partnership that has gone sideways. Because reality, you cannot pay a $74,000 monthly mortgage with pity points, a PR spin, or a 3-bottle minimum of rosé that no one is buying. You cannot keep the lights on in Montecito by telling old stories about palace drama. And at some point, when the brand stops selling and cash stops flowing in, even the modern fairy tale couple has to face the one thing they've been running from, and that is reality. This is also not the first time that the rumor mill has churned out whispers about Harry and Meghan's marriage being shaky. We've heard the stories before. Harry allegedly spending nights away from home, Meghan staying home alone. The little hints that something isn't right. You don't need to be Sherlock Holmes to connect the dots. Most likely, they've had their fair share of spats behind closed doors. And with the pressure cooker of finances, those fights only get nastier. And the thing is, their $14 million Montecito mansion is practically designed for living separate lives under one roof. You've got guest wings, pool houses, and enough space to avoid each other for days if you wanted to. It's not exactly a cozy couple time home. It's the perfect setup for a roommate marriage. All right, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.